I did want to get your perspective on this. Now, I know in your world it's a little different because we've been together for 25 years at this point,
25 years.
and we're only 27. But from your perspective, I know that you're an extremely attractive woman. I think you're the best looking woman in the world.
Extremely is crazy.
You're extremely attractive. You might be the baddest. I'm not gonna lie. So from that perspective,
Okay.
in your experience, you've had a lot of men come up to you and try to bag, correct?
Um, I would say I have, but I want to say a lot because I feel like a lot of my times as an adult, I've been around with you. But when I'm outside, I'm with you most of my days. But I would still say, yeah, but without you around or like social media,
Right. It's a lot.
eh,
Oh, it's
it's
just
slowed down a lot.
just say yes.
It's
Just you can just say yes. It's okay. Say it. Say the word yes.
it's 70%.
So
percent
because of that,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen a number of different approaches from men, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Different strategies, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for women, that's a common thing. You could see more commonalities between men because you're gonna get a lot more exposure because men are thirsty. They're gonna be trying to go out and secure. Men are hunters, so they're gonna try to go out and get what they want. Now, from the opposite perspective, I've found that women don't tend to know, um, like when women are in the hunting position, they find it hard on like what they should be doing to pursue a man.
Yeah,
Because contrary to popular belief, not every man wants every woman.
yeah, but
So in those cases, in those scenarios, I was talking with some people the other day, not some people, some women the other day who were trying to get my perspective on it because they were trying to find like, what's the signs you should look for, like get a man's perspective. Is it hard approaching a woman, all that kind of stuff. So I was trying to break it down to them. Now, from your perspective, what what would be the best way to do so? The best scenario, context, location
for a man to approach a
to
woman,
have like a higher success rate.
for a man to approach a woman.
For a man.
This is a hard question because you know me, I'm very like, oh, I see all sides, and I know like a lot of people don't like certain things because a lot of women hate the whole "hey beautiful" thing, but you know a lot of women will eat that up. So it's kind of a hard concept. I think if you're gonna do it via social media, then you could simply just say, like, if you're gonna DM somebody, I think don't be weird, don't do too much. So you could simply just say like, hey, uh, I don't know, like I don't know, because I
See?
haven't been in the dating game for so long, so I don't know what I would want. But I feel like a simple maybe like, hey, you know, I would love to get to know you more. It could be as simple like that. I feel like sometimes if you start doing a whole, hey, oh my God, you're the most beautiful thing in the world. Some people don't like that because if you're approaching a conversation with me because of my looks, it might be a turnoff. Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's
Now,
like if you think I'm beautiful, like fine, like everybody, like people think that, but like I don't want that to be an approach because it's like, you know,
yeah.
because then it comes across as like, well, is that your only intentions in wanting to get to know me because of my looks? Which, yeah, I mean, first and foremost, when you see somebody, it is like you're attracted to them first by looks. But if you're like, okay, this person looks good, and I want to get to know them more because they, I think there could be a cool person. Like, I see their personality on the internet. I see like what their fashion is. I see what they're like, what the music they like. Okay, maybe we could bond. Then that's different. Now you're hitting me up because you think I look good, but you also think that we will get along because we have similar interests. So, but if your approach is like, hey, like I would love to get to know you more, then I might respond to that. I feel like. But
Gotcha.
see, it's hard because I haven't been single in like almost 10 years.
But
So I
even
don't know.
still, it's always a funny question because anytime guys ask that to women, they always say the worst possible advice that they could ever
Yeah, I think
give.
keep it simple.
And then it's like I saw one other day where a guy was asking a woman, and then she just like she made it so he was like facing away from her. So he just came. She was like, okay, so if you were a guy, if I'm a guy and I'm approaching you, she like just walked up behind him, tapped him on the shoulder, and then like touched her back, and then like took her.
Yeah, see, that's weird.
Yeah, like that's gonna get you a case.
But see, you know what sucks nowadays? The in-person interactions are so dicey. Like I kind of feel bad for men because they get so many perspectives on what they should do when it comes to the in-person stuff. So even like what I would think is a good approach might not be a good approach to another woman because lots of times too is the whole how you look thing too, because like if you're, but you know what? I feel like first and foremost, people have to have self awareness. So I feel like you would know as a man if you're deemed of more attractiveness. I think men will actually have a better gauge on how attractive they are than women, because if you're approached by a lot of women, or even a woman being bold enough to DM you, you would know. Okay, I definitely are probably, and especially if it's attractive women too, like really attractive women who are like trying to talk to you or trying to get to know you. I think you would be like, okay, I'm definitely attractive. Women is harder to gauge that because men will have sex with anything. So you might get hit up and you might be like the most hit person ever, but like the man just wants a warm body for that night. So like, so he might just be reaching out to you, or whatever. You know what I mean?
As opposed to a cold body, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like women is I think it's harder to gauge because like no offense too. Lots of times your friends will gas you up. You might not be cute, but your friends will be like, oh my god, my friend's a baddie, baddie,
Yeah,
baddie. Like
women's perspective got to be so distorted
it's
because of
very
that.
delusional, distorted. I'm first to admit that it is. No, but I feel like men are a lot more like real with each other on that. Like if they know their friends like look good looking, they'll say like, "Damn nigga, you like I'm no homo, but you look good." No, that sounds crazy. But I think that's like a thing, right? But like I feel like men have a better gauge on their level of attraction. This because it's like okay, I can get girls. They throwing it at me like I'm definitely beautiful women are coming at me like talking to me. I'm able to get them. I definitely rank high. But I feel like if that's not your experience, then I feel like you shouldn't necessarily approach women in person because like you're gonna have a lot. No, I'm being real. Like you're gonna have, and even online, you're not gonna have a super high success rate. Because I feel like people, I feel like people are delusional, but people also like you should just be self aware. Like I feel like like if you're like top tier, if you rank high in the look department and you don't, like I feel you have to know.
You know what?
You have to know. Some people are delusional, but I feel you have to know.
That's true. And for any men that are on here and they hate when women give opinions on this,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna take over.
I know, especially
But
if it's a woman like me, right, who wears makeup. They're like, "Oh, take the makeup off, take the hair off."
so
Okay, but I met him when I didn't wear makeup really that much, and my hair wasn't that good. So
it's okay. You're not fighting anybody for real. But
no, I'm just saying.
to put it in basketball terms, yeah, like you shouldn't, if you're not able to pull from range, you probably shouldn't, take shots that are considered
So
deep
you're
based
gonna
on
come
your
across
own attributes.
creepy. You're gonna get rejected. And you're gonna come across as a creep.
Yeah, like y'all play 2K. Like y'all know if my player doesn't have the particular stats to do certain moves, you probably shouldn't execute that move on the court. Like,
and you could give yourself a self evaluation based off your success rate, based off the woman that you have. Look at your roster, get the picture together, get a little portfolio, and look at your roster. And if it looks bad or it looks like subpar, then maybe you're not that guy. Like,
and also, yeah, like you just mentioned, that's also a point that I think some people get, but everybody should get. That when you're attractive or attractive enough for someone, or you also have enough money, or just there's something about you, your status that is such a turn on to somebody, you can execute certain moves that are nuts and it's not going to come across as creepy because somebody just likes something about you that much. But if you don't have any of those things going for you, the same moves that somebody else might do, you can't execute those.
That's funny. It's such like not like in perspective. It's a true thing. Like I'm not gonna lie and act like I've never did that. Right? Like if it could be two different guys pulling the same move in a club, and like the one guy be so hit, and you just feel creeped out and like ooh, and it could be a guy that like it's like you think is attractive, and you're like, all of a sudden it's like like you're all giddy and stuff. Like I'm not gonna lie, and act like that's never like that's not a real thing. Like and it sucks. It's sad. Like it is, but hey, life isn't fair.
Because guys guys in the same perspective, like when the wildebeest is coming up to you and they're trying to bag.
Like, what they call Jersey Shore? They called the
grenades.
The grenades.
Like when the wildebeest
and
is popping
when
up,
it's like a baddie, and you're like, damn.
And then when
like,
the baddie comes up, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta know where you fall and rank into there. But
you have to be real with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Like life isn't fair. Yeah, you might have gotten on the poor end of the genetic pool. Sorry, like I'm sorry.
That really does answer the question. Is really do a self-evaluation and see where you rank. Yeah. And I think from there should be certain advice. But the advice definitely differs. So if you're extremely attractive or have a higher status, it's not that necessarily you should be arrogant and come off a certain type of way, but you can get off more. You
get off like
a different set of
anything. You could get off the whole bare, because some people might say like what my perspective is, or just say hey. Some women might that's the bare minimum.
Yeah, but if you got
if you're attractive,
if you got the verification check, you got money, they see you could dress, all that kind of stuff. You could get way more off based on that.
And even the hey beautiful thing. Some women be like, don't call me beautiful. You don't know me.
Yeah.
But some women, if you're very attractive, they be like, all of a sudden that won't be an issue to them. They'll be like,
They're gonna be smiling for days.
yeah, can you, especially if it's a guy who's like you would think is a conventionally attractive. If he's thinking you're attractive, that's an ego boost. Like you're like, damn, this person looks good. Like, and he thinks I look good. Like, damn. Like, so you're not gonna say no.
I guess
Like,
a better question would be then, because most people don't have the money or the looks.
Yeah.
What should the average guy do to approach a woman and have an average level of success rate, or the highest?
I think the
success
best
rate?
thing to do
And hold up,
is
average guy, average girl.
I think if you're average guy, then you should just go after average woman.
And
I
what should
think
the
if
approach be?
you know how I would compare it to? Like when I applied for colleges, I had a list. I had my colleges I knew I would get into. Like I knew I would get into these colleges. Then I had my colleges, like the schools at my level, who I feel like it could be a 50-50, but I feel like I could definitely like, this is like I'm going right like directly across. Like if this is, they need this requirement, I match it 100%. And then I had what I call my reach schools, where it's like, this is a reach. I might get in, they might accept me, they might not, but they most likely aren't going to accept me, but they might. But this is a reach. So I applied to the schools I knew I can get into, just so if I'm safe. Let's go to your safe schools. Safe. I applied to schools so I know I'm safe. At least I have an option. Then I applied to like my regular schools, like a Montclair was like my regular school, or like a Howard was like, I got into Howard, but I was like a middle. But in a reach, I applied to UNC. I didn't get into UNC. I applied to University of Maryland, UMD. I didn't get into those schools. I feel like the same thing for the dating game. Like I said, evaluate yourself, and then where to go from there. There's girls who you most likely, and guys, if you're a woman, that you most likely be able to have success. Like who they are, kind of MO. Like they're easy. They're maybe not so attractive, or they're insecure. So like they'll take any attention because they might not get a lot of it from somebody who looks like you. Then that there's people who are at your level. So like the success rate is probably going to be pretty good. You might have some failures, but okay, I'm average. I make average salary. This woman's average looking, makes average salary. So you might have success. Then there's the reach. This woman's way out of my league, but she might think I'm attractive, or she might want a guy like me. So I think how you approach that situation is you go for the people at your level. You go for them. If you really are worried that you might not find somebody, maybe you go for somebody who's below your level a little bit, look-wise, that you feel like you can easily get. But if you want to have those reach women, go for it. But just maybe be more methodical with how you're going to approach them. Like put more thought into it, whatever, But I do feel like everybody should just, if you're an average man, you should just approach average women. You should walk up to average women in a setting. You should, on dating apps, match with average women. You should hit up average women. Like if you're kind of average looking and you're in a girl's DMs who looks very good, who's obviously successful, you're probably not going to have a high success rate. Like you probably aren't. Go for it. You never know. But if you're rejected, don't be surprised. So I feel like that's a good analogy.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I wonder if there's even a purpose in the reach.
There is, if you feel like this person is really, really attractive and like I really want to get to know her. Like she seems really cool. I know she probably won't hit me up, but hey, it doesn't hurt for me to be like,
you know what? Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't hurt.
Shoot or shoot, yo.
Shoot your shot. Because the worst thing that could happen is you're gonna get rejected, and that's okay. That's life.
Yeah, that is life. That's the real problem. That's what I was trying to explain to the women I was talking to.
Yeah.
I was like, the problem is that for like a man, they're gonna traditionally have to approach the woman, and the problem is, women don't know the process of rejection as much because they tend to not get rejected. So, from a man's perspective, it could be heartbreaking, low key, especially the way that you do end up getting rejected by the women. Like she might say that you're an ugly gremlin
like,
and you're poor and broke, and I would never. They're gonna respond like that, or like they could respond that way in public too, because women be doing a lot, especially if you're in a public setting at a bar or something, and they might be drunk.
Your friends.
Yeah, and everybody in the bar knows you just walked over to this woman. We're gonna stop saying girl. This woman, and she rejects you. Now the whole bar knows that you just got rejected, which is fine because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't care about that. Shoot your shot, but yeah, women don't get that concept of it because it's like because women get who they want and guys
for
get,
the most part. Because
there's definitely
women who shoot out of their league too, and a guy is like,
oh no, for sure,
like girl, no,
for sure,
or like the guy might sleep with you, but that's all. Like you're nothing more than him. So women
Yeah.
definitely have rejection rates too. I would assume.
So you're basically your advice is
Cause
just
you notice a lot of women do settle sometimes. I notice that now that we're getting older, a lot of our peers, I'm like, they're settling in my opinion because it's not what all the criteria that they listed, they're not getting because they don't match up.
yeah, women set those standards. They want the 6'6".
6'3", 6-figure salary, and then you see the guy that they're with is shorter than them, making no money because that's all you could get. The guy
and
that you really wanted, you couldn't get. No offense,
and they
you
don't
don't
look
align.
yeah, they don't look anything physically like the person that they describe
Yeah,
on social media, or the person that got them pregnant, or just like the
yeah.
person their situationship.
So yeah, don't get it twisted. Women get rejected too from
They
what they
do.
want. They do.
Actually,
A
yeah, that's
lot of
true.
women end up settling too because this is what they really want. A lot of them can't get
Well, what they
money
want
wise
to also,
and look wise.
I think is more so instead of the rejection, I think is also more so it just doesn't exist low key.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like
That's true.
they never even had the opportunity to try to pursue somebody like that because it's just not. It's just a rare criteria. We
It's
just
true.
work. We just live in New York because even when I was, I don't know if I want to bring this up. Even when I was buying like your engagement ring, it was they were talking about that kind of concept. They were like
What?
geographic. They were
You have to
talking.
throw that out there. That's so subtly.
They were talking about like geographically, like over here in this part of the country. They were like the averages are X Y Z, and this
Yeah.
is the money team side of the world. So our perspective, well, I especially in my travel, I'm very well aware of the rest of the country and how everybody else lives.
Yeah.
But for other people, like in this area, it might be money team, and there might be more. It might be more common to come across people that fit
It
this
is.
criteria. Especially we live next to New York
Yeah,
City,
'cause I was just talking about that on Twitter. Like, 'cause
but the
this
rest of
guy
the world
said
is not like that.
this guy said he never met a woman that made 100K, and I'm like, I can name you like 10 right now, because it's just like where we live, and our scope is we're college educated, so we have a college educated circle, people that we know, and we work in places that pay well. So it's like I know I can name you 10 women right now that make 100K. What you mean you don't know nobody that makes 100K? So yeah, it's definitely easier around here to get a guy with money that might not even be like good looking, and you might not be good looking, but you guys are both kind of nerdy, quirky, and make your money together.
Yeah.
But
Let
yeah,
me. I don't know how much time we spent on this so far, but I wanted to give a
yeah,
guy's perspective. So I think one of the keys to try to get women is this. So number one, I think before anything else, you have your genetics. So there's going to be, and this is for women as well. Women have genetics, obviously, because they're humans as well.
mm-hmm.
But you're going to have certain physical attributes that you're born with and you're stuck with. So there's certain things that you can't change. I know a big thing for men is the hair falling out, and all of that's genetically based.
Height.
I think that trait comes through the mother side.
Damn.
Your height,
Height.
your just everything,
Your
your facial
genitalia.
structure, yeah, your everything really.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything comes from genetics.
Even your
So
voice,
your voice, everything.
because deeper voice. I feel like men have more success with a deeper voice.
Yeah. They started making me make like audio, like do like voiceovers for the company.
No one at work should be talking about your voice.
Okay. So anyway, they so
Yeah,
that's what you're set
genetics,
with. So genetics,
unfortunately, is a luck of the draw.
and so
Shout out to my genetics. That's what I gotta say.
whatever you got is whatever you got. So that's where it starts
Yeah.
and ends from that perspective. There are some things you can change to kind of impact that a little bit. So make sure that you have a good diet.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking care of your skin, because you could be genetically born with great skin, but your diet or just you not exfoliating or washing your face or your hygiene is bad. So make sure you take care of things like your skin, because clear skin is more attractive. Working out,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. You don't need to be
Plastic
muscle
surgery.
bound.
Oh, you did, yeah.
But you should just be in shape in general. Women are going to tend to find that more attractive.
Plastic surgery has like the higher end
You
of
could
this
do plastic
conversation.
surgery, but
Yeah.
that's we not
Yeah.
talking about that. That's something completely
That's
different.
a different, yeah.
Don't get fake abs.
Yeah.
Just go to the gym. But just sit down and work out for 6 months. You'll be fine. So doing those kind of things, like that's where you should start. Taking care of yourself physically based on the genetics and body build that you were given. Take care of it. Secondly, what you should do is work on getting some sort of therapy or learning about yourself, because even if you're not conventionally attractive, you can also still get away with a lot of things if you just have a great personality. if you can make women laugh, that is like the number one thing that you can do, um, to get in easily without having to do too much.
Yeah.
It's an easy way in. It's not everything, of course. You still have to treat them well, treat them like the women that they are, and take care of them and that kind of stuff. But having a sense of humor and emotional understanding, all that kind of stuff. Like, you have to grow up. Like, basically, like,
Yeah.
I know, as being a man myself, I know we go through a period where we're it's like the frat boy mentality, and I got all these blah blah blah, like all that kind of stuff. You got to shake that, because if you really want to, and this is to secure somebody. If you want to just be a thought, then just go be a thought. But if you want to secure somebody, you're gonna have to do that
Yeah.
mental growth, um, to be able to sustain a woman and make her want to be around you. Especially because you got to understand, women get sausage and meat thrown at them all day long from all different angles. You're not the only one, so you're gonna have to be one that stands out. So that's the other part. Do some of that mental growing and learning, and
Yeah.
women like to laugh and be nurtured and taken care of as well.
Yeah.
They basically want a dad, which is weird,
Some.
weird. Some want a dad, but that's a thing.
Yeah. It's
And
weird.
once you do those two things,
And yeah, working on your like self, like education,
yeah,
job,
that's
stability.
that's key number 3.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of guys see how men with money live, and how women will just throw themselves at them, or being able to go around in their travels and pick up women from all over the world.
Because it is important. Like,
It is
we're not,
important.
like, I don't believe in using people because of their money, but I feel like having your own stability just on your own is just an important trait to have.
It's important for your own independence. So
Yeah.
get your money up. Like, go learn a trade, go to college,
Yeah.
get a degree. If you don't get degrees, get certifications. Like, do something that helps you. And you don't even need to do that. If you're in entertainment, or if you're in sports, if you're in anything else, just make sure that you're taking care of everything that you can in your career, and make sure you get that stable income, because money does talk, and money does matter. And it's not necessarily that somebody's using you for your money, but it does allow them to have additional experiences. You can have additional experiences. Like, all of that is very important.
You're just more competitive
and
in
cultivating
the
a
dating
relationship
market too. Like,
like, nothing to me could replace the feeling of being in, like, waking up in Dubai every day, every morning, with the blinds auto open once the sun arises, and I'm looking at the Burj Khalifa. Like, money does matter.
Yeah.
Because you get to have those experiences. It's going to make somebody like you more. Don't like allow somebody to use you, but use money as a tool to allow you to get access to certain things. And yeah, so don't dangle. That's the other thing. Men tend to dangle money in front of women, and then be surprised when women use them for the money. Like, don't be like, I'm rich, I got this car, I got this, my mansion, and a blah, blah, and the penthouse, and the floor to ceiling windows, all that kind of stuff. If you're gonna be in the business of doing, like, have those things, but if you're gonna be in the business of dangling those things in front of women, then don't be surprised when they take the bait, and don't be surprised when they take the bait and run.
Yeah.
Because they might see somebody with the $100 million house, and you might have only had the $1 million house, which is perfectly fine too. But I think those are the big 3. And then once you get all of those 3 things figured out, to the best of your ability, all of those different attributes. Maybe you don't have as much money, but you got a great personality, or maybe you're not as emotionally intelligent, but you have more money. There's sliders on all these things. So get the best combination of those 3 things, and then from there, you should evaluate where you rank against other men, because then that shows you where your level of competition is and how women will perceive you.
Yeah.
And then from there, once you realize where you fall in the pecking order on a totem pole, then that's how you adjust how you can shoot your shots everywhere.
Yeah.
So me personally, what I've noticed is that the more money that I've started to get, the easier it probably would be to
easy. Could you would say the date?
Yeah,
I was saying it was already easy like before, but I could imagine like you out in the world now, like it would be probably scary.
Like the type of restaurants, like I just looked at the bill we had the other day. We paid like $300 in just Chinese food. It was like $327.
No, that's how much we spent for my mom's birthday too. At time.
Yeah.
In Easton, I was like, damn, I didn't know Easton trying to be on the come up like this.
So stuff like that, like those things do matter, and they do speak volumes. But I know that I know where I rank. I could shoot.
Yeah,
a certain
you're
range.
self-aware. Yeah.
And you need
to I feel that way
awareness.
too, but even as a woman, I know where I rank. Like I know like where I could compete at. I know like if I was single, I'm not like that delusion to think I could go even as high as like even like an athlete and not necessarily that I would be not able to, but that would be more of like a reach for me because I feel like especially because
I mean, well,
maybe, but you know, like for me, I feel like the body types. Everybody wants the thick girl, and but not necessarily the
that's
girl
not
that they
true.
wife. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna be delusional. And be like, yeah, I can get me an
Weren't you
athlete.
surrounded by the entire Eagles offense?
Oh yeah, you know what? Let me stop. I forgot. Eagles player did that. The Eagles player did fucking stalk me that whole night. That shit was crazy. Like 2 different locations. I was like, so yeah, but
Never giggle like that again.
huh?
You said never giggle like that again.
No, I'm saying like I forgot about that. So yeah, like you know, like, I'm self aware and feel like I'm not like
Athletes ain't
far
out,
off from.
athletes ain't out of reach. For you is different because
I mean, I feel like I'm
men
conventionally
don't
attractive. I feel like I have a nice body, so
men don't care about status with women. So
yeah,
that's why you're not far off in the same way that
I'm not far off.
men
Yeah.
could be
But
far
some
off.
women are far off because they look like
Well, that's true. Well, I'm saying for
something
you.
that was underneath your couch.
But yeah, so get all those things in order and then see where you rank and then shoot your shot accordingly. Shoot or shoot, but where you're gonna have a higher success rate is definitely in the range that you are in.
Yeah,
If you got a good mid range, if you're good around the basket, you got good footwork, stay in that lane. Don't
yeah,
start pulling threes from the logo
yeah,
because you're probably not gonna get it. And
yeah. I feel
every
like
once in a while you might get one, but
yeah, I feel
if
like
you're
that's like the
looking for
conclusion here.
if you're
Yeah,
looking for a success rate, definitely just stay within
yeah, you
in
know
your
your
range.
bubble, you know your range. Like
Yeah,
people need to be more self aware, and a lot of people aren't. There, a lot of people are delusional.
right. So if you want
Like be realistic.
the Lottos and Ruby Roses of the world, they're unfortunately in a spot where they're getting so much money and they're just in a level of attractiveness that you're not going to be able to impress them with anything. So you
Probably
shouldn't.
not never. So
You should, yeah. So you
don't
shouldn't
even
shoot.
try it.
You shouldn't shoot in that range if you're nowhere close to that range. But act accordingly, and that's the best thing you could do. To me, is just work on yourself as a man to be the best person that you can be,
Yeah,
from a physical standpoint, emotional standpoint, and in your career. And from there, you'll have a way higher success rate, and you'll see life start to change around.
yeah. And then at that point, there is no specific approach. You just be yourself.
Just be yourself.
You don't have to worry about what you're saying if you're just.
And women
if
will
you,
be able to take all of those attributes and understand them. You won't even have to communicate those things to
Yeah,
them.
it'll just be natural.
It'll just be natural. And that's really the key.
Yeah,
Game for all you young kids,
yeah.
especially. This doesn't.
And men and women,
old
men
men
and women too. Could be
Yeah,
a
the
woman
same
need
thing.
to hear
Women
this
need to
advice.
take the
Stop
same
being
advice.
delusional.
Women should take the same advice and do the reverse. Like,
Yeah.
be emotionally intelligent. Don't just start wilding out for
Yeah,
no
feel
reason.
yourself because men don't want that. They don't want the chaotic, toxic woman that's always wants to fight and so insecure. Like heal.
Yeah.
It's not cute.
Well, there we go. We figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clip this and make sure everybody gets to see it. One day we'll do the college. We'll do like a college episode.
About college
Explicitly.
life.
We'll
Oh,
do like
God.
We'll do 3 hours of just college topics.
Bruh. That could be a good. We'll do
That
that
would be
next
great.
week.
Yeah, we'll do it next week. But
But that could be bad at the same time.
oh no, we're gonna.
Especially when I'm drunk. I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
my soap
we're
opera.
gonna have a lot of libations, and yeah, we're gonna be candid and get canceled.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people will probably appreciate the advice, especially on how we were able to
Let's
get
not even talk about it.
our relationship
Let's not even
survive
talk about it
through
now.
that freaking crazy time.